You're Chevy head motherfuckers, man. That's what they are. You know, you go to the bar, you go to the club with somebody, and they drinking too much, or they're doing too much extracurricular stuff. Yeah. And now I can't enjoy myself. I gotta watch your big ass head to make sure you okay.
Yeah, man.
That's not fun.
No one wants to go to the club and babysit. That is the worst shit ever. That's the worst.
First of all, if I gotta babysit, you're not my friend anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not. You are a grown person. You should be knowing your limits, knowing what you can do, what you can't do. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
I don't got time. But me being a nice dumbass person, I'm always looking after because I don't want anything bad, especially the women. I'll look after for women. But if you're a repetitive offender, in the sense that you're always getting so wasted all the time, we ain't friends anymore. I can't do that.
A habitual line stepper.
Definitely a
habitual drinker.
Wait, where's that from? A habitual line stepper?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, right?
Charlie Murphy.
There we go. Like, look at you.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on, guys.
Episode 137, Chris. Listen, I'm on point. Chris. All right?
That was quite a pause, though. Yeah. You really were thinking a little hard.
Huh?
I said you were thinking a little bit about that. You were like,
you want me to be super honest? The doc is right here, and I was gonna look at it and cheat, but I was like, let me think. That's where the pause came in.
That's
where the pause came in.
You did look at it.
Well, the camera will read that I did not look at the document. I looked at the camera and then looked at Chris.
You did. What's up, Brandon? Hey, Erin.
Grassroots Podcast.
Thank you, Grassroots Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the notification button to be notified for the latest to the greatest episodes. I'm one of the cool ass hosts here. Brandon, Killabh.
Erin Ashley Simon. Yo, I can smell the freaking liquor all the way from here. Like I can smell it.
It's apple cider.
I know.
It hardly qualifies as liquor.
Well, the alcohol.
It's hard.
The beverage. Cider. I can smell it from a mile away. Yeah. That shit is strong.
It's lit.
Hey, it's Larry Shenanigans. What's going on?
Where is that? What is that?
Larry Shenanigans?
Yeah, what is that?
Don't worry about that, man. I said a lot of people didn't see that movie where I got that from, but don't worry about it. Happy Time Murders. The puppets?
Wait, the puppets?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wait, I know. As soon as you said that, I was thinking click. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Officer Larry Shenanigans?
That's pretty good. I was like, why does it sound so familiar?
I'm Wilson.
I am Wilson.
All right, Wilson. All right. It wasn't shit going on this week, so we're just going to have some fun with a bunch of shit that nothing to talk about.
Oh, there was shit going on.
Well, yeah, there was shit going on, but I wish like celebrities would do something stupid so we can talk about them.
The shits.
Something.
I mean, I'd rather them not, because sometimes when they do really dumb stuff, it's like OD dumb stuff.
Someone's got to be the sacrificial lamb for our content. I'm just saying.
Well, they may not be the celebrity that we think about, but
it could be somebody.
Miss Hoffman.
Yeah, Miss Hoffman.
Yeah.
Boo, bitch.
14 days.
14 days. I mean, we might as well start there, right? So let me scroll down here.
Boo, bitch.
Miss Hoffman is going to be 14 days in jail.
Yes.
For the Huffman.
Huffman.
Felicity?
Yes. So Felicity Huffman gets 14 days in prison for college admission scandal. Lori Lohan, Aunt Becky. What is it? Laughlin? Oh,
we'll call her Becky.
Oh, whatever.
Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky.
Case is going on, but
it's
expected to receive more time. So hold on, I wanted to say. So is this accurate? Because I did see, or someone said to me that she was acquitted of, and this is for Aunt Becky, that she was acquitted for her shit. Even though I don't see how that would be the case, because I know that she did go to take it to trial. No?
All I know is I'm surprised they gave her 14 days. I thought it was going to be less than that.
She should have gotten any.
Why not?
Colleges have been robbing people for how many years?
It's true.
Yeah, but what about there's this woman who lied about the area that she was in, and she was homeless just to have her kid go to a better school, and she was in jail longer than this woman.
Yeah.
Well, she got a few
that's
years.
A tragedy. She definitely shouldn't have gotten that, but...
Yeah, she got a few years, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and she only got 14 days.
Well, I think people are in an uproar because they like to turn things into like these racial debates because these women are Caucasian or whatever their ethnicity is. They resemble Caucasian folks. People are in an uproar because they feel like if these were minorities doing this college scandal, they would have gotten 4 years to life in jail for that. Whereas Becky and the rest of the college gang only got 14 days or whatever else they're getting.
It's just her.
So,
and it's certain minorities, to be honest with you. Like, I think a Michelle Wu,
yeah,
she would have got 14 days.
100%. Name if you had to make a list of minorities that would get more than 14 days, who would you pick?
Sonia Sanchez and Alizé Jenkins.
What the fuck?
Digress.
Those are the two women. From Sonia Sanchez from Dykeman, she would have got a couple of years, and Alizé and her sister Uniqua, they definitely would have got a few years.
I feel like Tracy Morgan would 100% get more than a few years.
I said, dude.
I know.
He said minorities.
I said minorities.
Yeah, he wasn't saying
Yeah.
gender specific.
Yeah, it wasn't gender specific.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Felicity had the complexion for the protection, to quote Paul Mooney.
The only person who ain't gonna get more than 14 days is O.J. Simpson.
You wouldn't. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's OJ.
Hey.
Listen.
Hey, everybody, it's OJ again.
Let me write a book about what happened because y'all can't.
If I did kill that bitch,
Yeah.
here's what I would have did.
It's America's sweetheart.
Yeah, just quick sidebar. Do y'all know how crazy that whole shit is? Like that book. Did y'all ever read that book? If
No.
I did.
I don't have to read.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It's OJ.
He's
I don't
gonna
have
come
to read
out
it.
when he dies. When he dies, and they do an autopsy, you're gonna see significant CTE in that man's head.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. That's the juice.
Well, is
Yeah,
it-
he's
you
still
think-
pretty well spoken. Oh shit!
Do you think Larry Johnson?
Shut the fuck up!
Do you guys think that Larry Johnson has CTE?
Hell yeah.
He's been saying some really interesting things.
I think anyone that does any type of physical activity where you take shots to the head, boxers, football players, even soccer, anyone
well,
of that.
I'm getting CTE.
You're 100%. You got it. Anyone that
I remember names and things better than you, though.
You do. You're really good with that. You really are good with that. My memory's fucked. But
CTE.
Yeah, CTE.
I think Wilson wants to fight me, so
Yeah,
title.
he's tight.
What? Your joke wasn't that good.
It was pretty good. He killed.
It was
you.
alright.
You've been quiet ever since then until now. He shut you up. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm on your team. It's fine.
Go ahead, go. What you say, Brandon?
All right. So what were we saying? All right. So let's get back to it. So John Legend spoke with TMZ and said he agrees with the sentencing. I get why everyone gets mad when rich people, person X gets a short sentence and poor people of color gets a long one. The answer isn't for X to get more. It's for both of them to get less or even none. We should all level down, not up. Oh, that's a stupid quote. Who
I
says
don't know.
that?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's just as bad. Well, just kidding. It's not just as bad, but Tim Tebow's spiel. Talking from the perspective of privilege.
So I completely missed this just because, again, I still be boycotting. I'm one of the last real people left boycotting the NFL. What happened with Tim Tebow?
Why are you doing that?
I don't know why.
Well, it was on a clip on social media.
Let me be clear. I have no real reason why outside of the fact that the Giants suck and it's painful to watch them right now.
Colin got paid. I'm watching.
Yeah, like, I don't know. But I'm just fighting this fight just for the good cause of me at this point.
So Tim Tebow basically they're talking about college athletes getting paid, and essentially Tim Tebow was like, well, I didn't, get the money essentially, and it's a slippery slope and all that stuff. But what Tim Tebow has to understand is he talks from a perspective of a privileged athlete. For you to categorize every single college athlete into the same socioeconomic brackets and ignore the lack of disparity that there is, and not just disparity within, socioeconomically, ethnicity-wise, but also disparity between different sports and stuff like that and certain things. What bothered me was, like, I know from experience that the second that you can't provide value or you get hurt, these schools would drop you in a second.
100%.
They don't care.
100%.
And because someone was talking to me about, we had an argument in our chat. I had an argument with Jeff. Shout out to Jeff, but sorry, Jeff, I got you on this one. But basically, because they try to claim education. Well, you should be going in there, you get your education. You should be happy with the education. But what they don't know is that the athletics program, some of the top athletic programs, which they're mostly focusing on, are the ones that are actually providing the most money back to academics. There are kids who actually get scholarships due to the fact of the money that basketball and football make. And on top of that, I hate how no one's talking about the fact that these players go back, at least some of them, not all, they go back and get their degrees.
Yeah.
Schools have it set up where you can go back. They also have it set up where even if you aren't, like UK, even if you aren't a football player or college basketball player like myself, I can still go back and get a master's easily at UK because I still provided some value. Now, having players earn money off of the likeness, that gives an opportunity for every single school. That gives an opportunity for the smaller markets. I want to market towards the regional small businesses. Maybe a mom and pop store want to say, hey, we want you to come and do some signings. That makes everyone have the opportunity to be able to make money.
Well, the other thing too, though, to your point, I feel like even colleges, they automatically look at student athletes as like, it's almost like they're getting jerked. Like athletes get jerked when you're in college.
They get per diem.
They're already looked at. Like a lot of business is already conducted behind closed doors in college anyway. A lot of these big basketball players, especially if you like coming from out of like a big school like a Duke or UK, they already have a full on salary.
They get paid. Why do you think they're like, oh, what's going to happen when the line is drawn where kids are choosing schools off of money? It's already happening.
Already happening. Yeah,
it's already happening. You think that Coach K doesn't pay? Stop it.
Yeah,
they all do. It's just who doesn't get caught. That's what happens.
That's all it is. My other issue is really that kids are being treated as business pawns in college regardless. When it comes to sports, if an athlete is doing well, they don't have to worry about grades, none of that shit. So why shouldn't the athlete be at least afforded some sort of a luxury to sacrifice having to work and do all of these things for the school and not have some sort of compensation when it happens regardless? It doesn't make sense.
Also, like, I hate to say, do you think that some kids choose to go to South Carolina or Kentucky for the education? No. They go for the program, some of them.
USC,
they go for the sports. There are some kids that spend money at these top universities and they go, and it's not for the education. I hate to break it to you guys because I know I'm very big on education, but some of these kids don't give an F about the education. They go because they want to root for the Gamecocks. They want to root for the Wildcats.
Hold on, I'm sorry, you said the Gamecocks?
Yeah, that's what the name is.
University of South Carolina, man, the real USC. The real USC.
Did you go there?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
For a semester. And then
you're not real then. You didn't make it.
Yeah.
You didn't make it.
I know.
He didn't make it.
Yo, you started
I
trying to
actually
one
have a friend
semester.
that ran track there. Asked about Nas. I've never heard of him.
I had a different name then.
I had a different name then. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is the truth.
You didn't make it.
It's a semester. Nah, I was an idiot.
I think we know that.
I picked those courses, man. I picked like French and journalism. I was setting it up at 8 o'clock in the morning, still trying to.
How did you fail journalism?
Yo, you got to be there to actually get a grade. I wasn't there.
I'm about to say, I was definitely in journalism class. It's especially on the basic journalism where they're like, okay, half of this class is going into part.
Yeah.
Let's talk about media. How did you fail that class, son?
I was trying to I walked onto the track and field team. I made it, and then I got kicked off.
You made it. Don't make it seem like you just walked onto the field, tried out, and then they loved you. And you was like, yeah. I think I'll accept your proposal.
I'm not going to snap.
No, I literally
just never saw this nigga run.
Yeah, like no one has ever seen him run. Honestly, he talks. You know who he's Al Bundy of the podcast. He's Al Bundy. He's still holding the Heisman.
You think that's a dig? You think that's a dig, but it's not.
It ain't
Back in my heyday.
Hold on. You failed media and journalism? Did anybody check this nigga's resume before we sat on this couch?
Like, why is he here? He failed all of the requirements to be on the show.
Your sister called back. She wants her pants back.
You went for it. We knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming.
Don't do the dance.
Yeah,
I'm still getting you back from earlier.
Yeah, fuck it.
You know what you could be? You could disguise yourself as Hootie.
From Hootie and the Blowfish?
Yeah, definitely that tire.
That nigga's shoulders is going to war. Yo, his shoulders are in the middle of battle.
Last one. I hate the buttons on his shirt.
You know, like
those pearly buttons. I hate them shit.
Yo,
you know, like
pearls? I feel like that is such a fucking...
No, I'm just fucking around.
I'm not. I feel like the moment you have pearls on the army fatigue shirt, it just ruins the shirt.
It's another level. You know who will wear this shirt?
Who?
Nobody but me. I was gonna say Dennis Rodman, but nobody but me.
Dennis Rodman. Let's talk about Dennis Rodman since you brought him up earlier.
Yeah.
More impactful than Michael Jordan culturally.
Now, where are you getting this from? The documentary, or?
Yeah, and I'm a fan of The Worm.
Well, how did any? Can you tell the fans?
Add context.
Yeah.
Oh, the 30 for 30 documentary was very insightful. Is really if you watch The Worm over the course of the past 20 years,
that's Dennis Rodman, who he's referring to as the worm.
You know that he has some sort of mental issue. You know, what was really surprising is that his relationship with his children and his mother was it impacts him so much, and that he can't get out of his own way.
Also, you have to bring up the fact that when he left the Pistons, he was never the same as well, because that was his stable family.
Yeah, Chuck Daly, his father figure, and he went to the Spurs for 2 years and then went to Chicago. But I say he's more impactful because he was a heterosexual black man who said, yo, I like hanging out in gay clubs because they treat me nice and they just want to have fun and they're accepting. And if you want to talk about sexuality, he goes, any man who can't admit that he's actually thought about, not actually done, thought about having sex with the same sex is lying not only to himself but to you. Well, so this is before this whole movement.
Little Uzi Vert looking at people.
I remember dyeing my hair in high school, and everybody thought I was crazy.
What color did you dye your hair?
Honey blonde.
And do you have a picture?
No, I destroyed them all.
Like this?
Yeah.
Photoshop his face on my face.
I dyed my hair twice.
Hold on, time out. If you're going off hair, Michael Jordan's been way more influential to you. And Brandon. He made it cool for both y'all niggas to live in your own truth.
Facts. Listen, let me be clear. I'm rolling with you. I want to be like Mike. That's me.
What?
I've been that kid for yes.
So the worm has ushered in this whole movement. These are Dennis Rodman's kids that we see now.
My retort to your stance right now is that
he broke his dick twice.
Well,
amazing stories, by the way.
Those are 2 L's, man.
That's 2 L's.
Yeah.
That's 2 L's. That's number one.
He told a woman to run from the other side of the room and opened his legs.
That's a wild,
a wild night.
That's not. I don't think that's the guy that you want to be your influence.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a fun time. Actually, I don't want. No. But even outside of all of that, right?
And he broke it 3 times.
Wait, it's all right. Never mind.
No, it's not a goal on mine.
He said, get the number right, not 2. It was 3.
That's a terrible.
So hold on. So are you saying that Dennis Rodman is more influential because of his acceptance to LGBTQ communities?
Not only that community, but if you look at, he went over to North Korea when no American, black, white, or other, has ever been over to North Korea in a diplomatic sense.
That was big.
You're talking about, he told the public he was going to marry himself and wore a dress. As a heterosexual black man, how taboo was that?
So why is it people don't walk around saying, I want to be Dennis Rodman, but everyone wants to walk around being Michael Jordan?
Because it's financial. People view success from a financial perspective, but also I mean I could even argue, and I'm only being a devil's advocate, I could even argue that success could be even viewed within Dennis Rodman in terms of acceptance of oneself and being comfortable with oneself. And I can't lie, he was a lot of the stuff that we are seeing some young black youth doing right now, like the Afro punk stuff and Lil Uzi Vert, the way that he's dressing and stuff like that. Like, he's right. Dennis Rodman was doing that way before a lot of people were, and he was doing the things that people thought were taboo for the black community, and that everyone thought there was a one perspective when it come to especially black celebrities himself.
I think with Dennis Rodman, I don't think Dennis Rodman will ever be viewed as the trailblazer for all of the things that you're saying right now, just because I feel like Dennis Rodman was ahead of his time. Dennis Rodman was one of those people that came into the league and was an enigma. From the very beginning, you didn't know whether he had anger issues. You didn't know whether he was gay. You didn't know whether he just wanted to be a rebel. You didn't know what his agenda was. Even still to this day, I still can't tell you what the purpose of Dennis Rodman is, and that's no shade. I'm just saying I don't know what his thing is. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, for Kanye, we know Kanye's music. We know it's art, right? What is Dennis Rodman's thing?
He just wants to be accepted. Like, if you watch,
what are we accepting from Dennis Rodman?
He's trying to find from what I gathered from that documentary. What he's trying to do is he's trying to be okay with himself. He has identity issues.
Gotcha.
He can't accept
I could see that, though.
He's also a nasty fellow.
What? He's a nasty fellow.
He kicked the cameraman in the nuts for no reason.
No, he was in the way. Back the fuck up. First of all, and Dennis Rodman is an enigma. He had almost an 11-inch growth spurt after he was 20 years old.
Yeah.
He was 5'9" at the age of 20.
But that's my point. With all of these amazing things that truly are amazing with Dennis Rodman, no one is walking around saying, "Yeah, I want to be Dennis Rodman." No one is saying that.
Yeah, nobody.
And man, first of all, he was destroying Carmen Electra, destroying Madonna.
Nobody cares.
Everybody.
Nobody cares.
Was he destroying or was he getting his dick destroyed?
Yeah,
sex.
but that's the other thing too.
I mean, that's cool, but
That is cool. I'm
I'm 100% on board for Carmen Electra in her prime.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. This
I'm talking about in bed.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Oh, you want to get to
I
that?
feel so out of this combo.
Yeah, no, you're about to be in this combo.
I feel so out of this combo.
You know what? I had this conversation
No. Let me
with my little
pose
cousin.
my question.
Oh,
Hold on. Let me pose my question.
I know where you're going. I've been there.
I know that.
Very simple, right? If you're having sex
Don't touch me.
if you're
Not this conversation.
Listen, no, you're in this fucking conversation. If you're having sex with someone of the opposite sex, opposite race, I'll say. Let's say if you're having sex with someone that's white, right?
Yes.
In the middle of sex, she just yells out, "You fucking dirty." Are you still continuing?
I'm going even harder.
Yeah, to quote Dave Chappelle,
all my
I am not
ancestors.
taking
What do you
the
mean?
moral high ground right then.
Are you serious?
I am not. That is no time to take the moral high ground.
Yo, listen. Yeah, I was fucking with this
Wow.
one chick.
That's interesting.
I was like, yo, as I'm with her, she was like, no, I don't want to. I was like, okay. She got a little bit more intense. She said it, and it was incredible.
Was it like?
Look-
Hold on. Did it get like Big Little Lies more intense, or are you cool?
I
or?
didn't watch second season, so.
Oh.
But you
But,
know,
but how you put it in bed, you're allowed to explore shit like that.
Get the fuck
well,
out.
you know what?
Scenarios. Yeah, you are.
My
I
little
don't think
cousin.
I would
playing.
want a guy to say that to me. I would definitely be way turned
That's
off.
what I'm saying.
Like,
Maybe it's just, I'm
I would have been like, come again?
I'm perplexed right now. I'm honestly
yes, I will.
perplexed. I'm honestly perplexed.
No, because
I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. to me.
Everybody
He would
likes to
not.
be
He'd get
degraded a
kicked
little
out.
bit in bed.
No, but you know
That's true, but degrade to.
You either want to be choked, you want to
But
be
that
tied
comes
up.
with it. No one. I'm not.
Not everybody's not with
No
that.
one is.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
what I'm
your
saying.
hand.
No one is going. Yeah. No one is going into sex. Someone. Yeah. Just violate me verbally with all of these racial insults.
But it
And tell me
depends.
how small my
And that's-
penis is.
yeah,
Some
like
guys
that-
do that. It's
like
really
that.
weird.
There are some dudes that are
There's
like
some
that.
guys who want you to say that. That's so weird.
You can't, like the conversation we were having off camera. Sexuality it's fluid, and what you like in the bedroom, it varies from person to person. You may not accept it, and Erin may not
That
accept
is so
it.
interesting, though.
Whoa, I didn't say anything about like having a
talking
negative
about-
viewpoint. I just said I don't.
No, I
do
didn't say
that.
it was negative.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying the perspectives change. I had the same conversation with my female cousin who's around Erin's age, and she said the same thing Erin said. Don't fucking call me nigger and then think that we just gonna keep rocking out.
Yeah.
But for my homeboys that I had the conversation with, they're like, if a white girl says it, an Asian girl says it,
I think
But
that might be
also-
different for guys and girls.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, but also a white guy versus a white woman is also a whole different thing
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, if it's a white guy saying it to a woman, it's kind of like, whoa.
To a black woman,
oh well, I'm not there. I'm not in that
That's-
bedroom.
Like, where's this going?
I'm not.
This is so interesting to me. Just,
For a woman to say it to me, I'm like, do you know what I could do to you?
and like I said,
you know what I'm saying? I'm still in the game, baby.
yeah, I mean, even just like, you know, we even view from a relationship standpoint people's perspectives of like a black man with a white woman and a black woman with a white man can vary and be different. I just think that for me, especially as a black woman, the last thing I would want is some white man in bed to say that to me. Like
Yeah,
that, I'll
like-
be like, absolutely not.
you know,
I can understand that.
You know what? I can't. I'm trying to think of a great example to get to my point. Like that for me, I feel like I don't know,
prude.
but no, but I'm thinking about. That's why I'm perplexed because I'm thinking about what you said, Ian. I'm thinking about what you just said just now about people that have these needs or these certain urges that get them off sexually. Like one of my mom's friends is like that, where she likes the abuse. Like it needs to be abusive.
She's a masochist.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Why do you know what your mom's friend likes?
Because me and my mom's is cool and we talk about shit.
Yo.
What do you mean?
Yo, his mom is dope.
Well, listen.
On Insta stories, I
These
saw.
barbecues must be
But
crazy.
there are levels of conversation and communication, and
But that's why I'm saying I'm perplexed. I get what you're saying. Not to cut you off. That's why I'm perplexed. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's how sure of you are in yourself. Like it's a whole confidence. For me, my perspective, it's a whole confidence thing and self-aware.
So if you walk out, not to cut you off again, because now you have my wheels are turning. So if you walk out of that sexual experience, and this is with, let's say it doesn't even have to be a white woman, it could be Chinese or whatever it is, right?
Somebody other
than black, right? You walk out of the circumstances.
Well, not.
Do you view them differently, or do you just chalk it up to, yo, that was just a sexual experience? I know that you're not racist.
Also, does it make them racist?
Well,
Yeah, that's where my brain would go. Mind you, I'm an overthinker. I am an overthinker.
Well, look, when you choke a girl in bed,
Okay.
does that make you a woman abuser?
There's a thin line. There is a thin line.
But some women like
There's no
that.
thin line.
I'm not saying. I'm
Hold
not
on, I'm
saying
really choking her.
Hold on, let me answer this question.
And when she says it, she doesn't really mean it.
But if you're not really choking her, then you're not choking her.
That's my point.
Like, it's either you choking her or you're not choking her. There's no in between when it comes
No,
to
girls don't like to actually be
You either
choked.
choking
Some
her.
of them do.
No,
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
No,
Some of them do.
There's no
Nah,
in between.
nah.
If you're actually putting your arms
Nah, look.
around her neck and squeezing,
Listen, if a
that
girl says really
actually
choke me,
is choking.
it's lights out.
It's-
I'm pretty sure I can choke a chick out pretty quick.
But hold on, let me answer
if
this
it's
question.
a real choke.
Let me
That,
answer
that turns into attempted murder and
Let
a
me
whole
answer this
bunch of
question real
other
quick.
crimes.
God.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not real.
Let me answer your question. And if it's a woman other than someone that's African American, right? In my mind, the way I view it is, I have different expectations for different women of different ethnic backgrounds.
Okay.
So
I have one expectation. You better be good in bed.
that's the overall.
That's the one expectation of
that's the
any of
overall,
this thing. You
that's the
better be
overall
good.
expectation. But if I was dealing with a white woman, she heard it.
I was about to say, relax, relax.
If I was dealing with a white woman,
Let me make sure your wife ain't on my story.
That's what if I'm in that relationship and we're intimate like that, if I'm expecting that from her, then from a Latina or an African American sister or Asian woman, I may expect something different.
Okay.
Because
so you're saying that the experience will vary based off of your expectations you kind of set in your head with the woman that you're engaging with.
Well,
Right.
Also,
Okay.
also another thing too. Even though, like I said, I wouldn't want someone to say the N word to me in bed, but I also understand that there are people that get off from verbally,
Yeah.
like they want you to verbally abuse. I don't want to say abuse, but verbally like get at them.
it's
right?
abuse. Some people are masochists like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people want to be hit. Some people like to be bound.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Some guys like want you to tell them how little their dicks are.
Yeah.
All right, you don't have to keep looking at me.
How do you?
She definitely gave Nas the look like it's okay to tell people, Nas. Like it's
First of all,
fine.
I don't know how you seeing anything with them shades on.
This episode, I need the shades. I need
Yeah,
the
you don't hear him talking
Come
this
on,
nasty shit.
come on, Nas.
Yeah,
Come on, Nas. Be confident. Take them shades off.
You know what's funny though? Yeah, I was with this chick, and she was on top, and she.
Was that the funny part? You were with her?
Yo, she's on a roll. She's on a roll today.
Pause. I was like, what? It's the funny part you were with her?
I was gonna go for a comeback, but then it's just like doth not protest too much. I didn't say that correct, but hey, how you put it?
I was about to say, what the fuck was that?
It's Shakespeare. Niggas read a book. So, yeah. Hey, how you put it? Fuck, I forgot where I was going now.
A chick was on top
This
of
chick
you.
was on top of me, and she said, "Call me a dirty little bitch." So I paused for a second. I was like, "You dirty fucking bitch!" And I said the shit. But I'm not gonna lie, that shit did nothing for me.
I was gonna say that was gonna be my next
It did
question.
nothing for
That
me.
was gonna be my next question.
At that
right?
point, I was just participating. I understand it. I'm not gonna
just
judge her off of
participating.
that. That's what she wanted to be in that moment.
Yeah, being a team player, I get it.
So all right, so you just chalk it up to just in the moment. This is you in your bag, and this is the type of rhythm that you're giving it up, and you just so happen to want to be insulted with racial slurs.
That's the rhythm
So
of
if
the
she
night.
insults you, she gonna trash your Yeezys?
Oh shit! See now, she say something about the Yeezys. that's not even sexy.
Yo,
like,
he won't protect his own integrity, but will protect some Yeezys. You can't make this up.
Let me have sex with a chick. She throws on my Yeezys and creases them. Sex over. Sex over.
But what if she wears them and it doesn't crease?
Oh, that's fine. Oh, Erin.
Sick over here.
Yo, I just gave me a new fantasy.
We're moving. This is crazy.
Listen, man, this all goes back to Dennis Rodman. Thanks to Dennis, man.
Yeah, it's true. He did influence this conversation.
Yeah, he did influence this conversation.
Yeah.
Cultural impact.
I need to watch the doc though. Everyone keeps saying though that it is very difficult to watch because Naz's point, Dennis Rodman does touch on a lot of things apparently within his life and his childhood and his upbringing that are very tough to watch. Everyone says that you go into it like, man, this is amazing. And then the end of it, you're just like, damn, like I now have to worry about Dennis Rodman's well-being in life because of this documentary.
You weren't worried before?
Well, me, I just talked it up the nigga being weird. Like, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of me... the marketing side of me, I'll say, I look at him as just one big design, right? Like he is one big campaign marketing billboard that he walks around, and every day when he's out, you're gonna get a different version of him. Sometimes you'll see him,
but they touch on that in the that's why you have to watch the documentary because they touch on that. He says like, this is a celebrity that. A persona that I've created that I now have no control over.
Yeah,
and I want to get off this roller coaster.
And that's my thing. I feel like he's branded himself so much to the point. You know who he reminds me of? 6ix9ine. He reminds me of 6ix9ine being so.
Or 6ix9ine reminds you of him.
Or 6ix9ine reminds me of him. What I'm saying. There is a comparison there, and the reason why I'm saying there's a comparison is because it can be said that 6ix9ine was engulfed in the 6ix9ine facade, the character that he had built to be within the industry, and because of that, it now. It's to his own detriment. It's to his own demise that he is now behind bars. He was so vested into the brand and character of 6ix9ine that it landed him in jail and damn near almost killed. I could say the same thing about Dennis Rodman being one of those people that got so engulfed into being this enigma, this unicorn of sorts, that now he walks around a grown man that has lived his life. He's lived a very full life and still does not know who he is. That's a serious thing.
I mean, honestly, to be quite frank, honest, that's how most people are in life.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know themselves well enough or do not come to look at themselves in the mirror to know themselves or to know who they are at the end of the day. And a lot of people go through life not even figuring that out.
But just imagine that, feeling like that with money and power.
Oh, well, I don't feel that way.
You get what I'm saying?
I
know.
spend time meditating and looking within myself.
Well, yeah. Listen, self-awareness is very
it's so important. I mean, that's part of that's part of therapy. Like, listen, I'm a therapy kid. I've been going to therapy since I was a kid.
Word.
And the one thing is that society always focuses on running away from the problems instead of embracing the like. It's weird to say, but in order to sometimes combat and deal with sadness and those feelings, you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
You understand that it is for some people, not all, because some people are chemically imbalanced, so I get it. You know, they may need some extra help with medicines and stuff like that. But for people who aren't, like, they run away from being sad or they run away from heartbreaks. And it's like, no, like, feel it because
it'll make you.
It will make you, and it's a lesson. Yeah. You can't run from sadness. You can't run from being let down. Mm-hmm. You can't run from these certain things. Part of to live life, part of it is to suffer.
Yeah.
I don't want to continue on this melancholy kind of conversation. But
it's not melancholy. It's life, man. There ain't nothing melancholy. This life. You will suffer at some point in life.
Yeah. But I wanted to know, do you think the worm could just be a part of the Suicide Squad just as himself?
Yo, so that's the funny thing. Oh my God.
Just as himself.
Yeah.
I sat here and thought that he could have been
He would get murdered. What's he gonna do? Catch a rebound and save the day?
If I'm being honest, I felt like Dennis Rodman could have been the fire dude, the pyro dude. I can't think of the guy's name. I don't fucking know. Diablo. I felt like Dennis Rodman could have been Diablo. Just because it's Dennis Rodman, like,
or Dennis Rodman could just be Dennis Rodman.
Thank you.
Yeah, just be himself in it.
96 Dennis Rodman in the Suicide Squad.
What would his I don't know. What was super
Catching rebounds.
Catching rebounds.
Yeah, he's just catching rebounds all day.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, back to even if while we're here, speaking of Suicide Squad, so DC Suicide Squad just released cover art teasing the new cast. Now, it's very noticeable that Jared Leto is not in this, and there's a few other people. Obviously, Will Smith is not in this. There's a lot of people that are not in this film. From what I've seen online, it's kind of 50-50. Most people say they love it just because Margot is still in and everyone loves her. I think she's amazing as Harley Quinn. But then there's a lot of other people like, all right, well, what's supposed to happen with the Joker? Where is all of this stuff supposed to happen? So what do you guys think about it? I really don't care. I didn't really think that the first Suicide Squad was all that great. Even with Will in it, it was just okay. My favorite person for me in the film was Harley Quinn. I think that is the perfect person for Harley Quinn, and I think her movie should really just be a standalone movie, and they should build the Suicide Squad around her first.
To be honest, I feel like when it comes to multiple character storylines for DC, they should stay away from that right now.
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't really been quite consistent when it comes to that, especially when it came to Batman and Batman versus Superman, all that stuff. I think they should just focus on the individual heroes or villains and just keep it at that for now.
Yeah.
And then once you have these set and appropriate actors, then you bring them all together. I just feel like DC, now that they had a solid individual movie run, because they did. Wonder Woman,
Good.
Aquaman,
Shazam.
So they've been having a good, nice little run.
Yeah, no run.
The last thing I would want is for them to mess it up with the Suicide Squad
No,
at
it's
this
gonna be
point.
James Gunn. You sleeping on James Gunn? James Gunn.
I'm not sleeping on James Gunn, but we know how DC is. They go on a nice little run and then they drop the ball at some point.
Well, that's true. But James Gunn, did go ahead and tweet and say, in quotes, "Don't get too attached." And I wonder now, do you think he's teasing that characters are obviously going to be interchangeable or going to be murdered off of Suicide Squad?
I think people are gonna die.
Or was he saying? Was he just saying don't get too attached? Meaning it's very straightforward. You guys are complaining about the Will Smiths of the world, the Jared Leto's of the world. Stop being so attached to these characters and just wait for the body of work to come out.
No, I think he's saying that some of those characters big names are gonna go in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And he'll be like, oh shit, he went in like 30 seconds.
But I mean, James Gunn is proven to be like good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not chump.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I love that Joker movie.
Listen, let me be clear.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I will take a poll. I think that he's going to blow Heath Ledger out of the water.
Why?
You're wilding.
First of all, why was everyone so surprised? Like, Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor. The second that they casted him, I knew it was going to be a good movie.
As soon as
he's an amazing actor.
I've been saying that for years.
So good.
I said that him or what's the other dude that does a really, really good job? Now I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to mess this up. There's another actor that you can't tell me that he's not off in the brain a little bit. Like where you could see him, playing a character, huh?
A little bit. Heath Ledger was totally off.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but
Joaquin Phoenix is gonna blow he's gonna blow him. He could blow Heath Ledger out the water.
Hold on.
Acting wise.
Hold on.
We're talking about that Joker.
Also,
I'm not talking about the man's whole catalog. I'm just talking about as the Joker.
Hold on.
Also, you know why Joaquin Phoenix would be really good too? Because like he's playing a character that has been troubled from things in his life in his past, and Joaquin Phoenix's life was not rosy and dandy.
Not at all.
At all.
The man named himself. Do you understand that? Does everybody get that? He named himself.
Give some backstory while I look up.
His parents allowed him and his brother and sisters to name themselves.
Well, they also were in a like a cult-esque thing, and they talked about how they partook in sexual activity as young kids.
River Phoenix died in Johnny Depp's nightclub.
Damn, I can't think of
outside of it.
Outside of his outside of his nightclub. Do you like Joaquin Phoenix is hurting inside? So when he goes down deep down there and reaches in to get that, like if you ever watch Walk the Line, there's a scene in there where Joaquin Phoenix is portraying Johnny Cash, and he's talking about the loss of his brother. And he drew on real inspiration. And you watch that scene, and it's like, damn, son, this is kind of uncomfortable because he actually did lose his brother, and now you got to say those lines.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Like, Heath Ledger can't reach that, okay?
I don't know.
He couldn't have reached that.
So wait, I want hold on. I want to circle back to Wilson. Why are you so vested into Heath Ledger? Now, mind you, Heath Ledger to date right now over Jack Nicholson and any other else, he again, I think I said this before on the show, but I put him up there with best character villain, on-screen character villain, or just person adaptations. It's him. I have I'm having such a brain fart right now. Thanos, I can't think of his name right now.
Josh
Brolin. And yeah, that's
Goonies.
it. That's it right now for me. As far as like adaptations go,
well, you know what?
He bodies this. With that said, I've always said that Phoenix should have been the original Joker. Like, there's a movie that I watched. I've seen this movie a million times, but I can't think of the name of it. It's an older movie with Joaquin Phoenix, but long story short, he plays where he's in a mental institution and he is playing a crazy person. And in the midst of him playing somebody that's mentally insane, he breaks this historical toilet in this jail cell.
Alcatraz, right?
Yes, in Alcatraz. And in the midst of them doing that, the cast themselves said, "Yo, number one, they were mad because the everything in the jail cell was historic. The toilet bowl, like everything. They were only supposed to shoot in it. He broke all that shit. He got so engulfed into the character, he didn't even know where he was and really thought that he was locked up. To the point where they had to remove him from there and actually try to break him down so he could understand that he was not in character anymore. That's different. Now, I know that same thing happened with Heath Ledger. That was what they alleged what happened with him, you know, going into drugs and overdose. And they said upon him shooting The Dark Knight, he was very engulfed into that. He wore the scars. He only spoke as in the Joker voice. And he even, he
locked himself in a hotel, I think, for 3 months. For
3 months. He locked himself in a hotel for 3 months and just was on his shit, you know, and walked out. So I say that to say, and no disrespect to Heath Ledger, but Phoenix is a better actor than Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
But he's a better actor.
What made Heath's Joker's dope, or it is not, Joaquin's going to be better, but what made his dope is the mannerisms in which Heath does. Like, if you ever talk to somebody who has, like, serious psychological issues, where I mean, like, they're multiple personalities and things like that, and you look at their little twitches, and they start curling up their lip, and they're doing this while they, like, I've talked to somebody who's, you know, their mouth just starts moving, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yo, it's all signs of someone being off.
So let me ask you this. Let's say Heath never died.
Okay.
Right.
Would you rather see Joaquin doing his Joker or a full movie of Heath Ledger doing the Joker?
We first have to see.
We got to see
Joaquin
it first.
do it.
Yeah, we got to see him do it
answer that
first.
question.
But if I
think Joaquin killed it.
I'm just saying, if you already think it's going to be better,
no, but
than his Joker.
Let me say, I don't think anyone knew that Heath would be as good as he was. No one knew that. Everyone saw Brokeback Mountain and him being the first night and was like, fam, this is the worst mistake they've ever made ever in terms of casting for someone as high caliber as the Joker. Now, if you're doing a lineup where I put Heath on the left-hand side and Phoenix on the right-hand side, I don't think many people would have gone with Heath over Joaquin. No one's doing that.
And I think a young Jim Carrey probably could have.
Now, listen, if you want to talk about it, Jim Carrey, for me, I felt should have always played the Joker. Always should have played the Joker.
He did play the Riddler, but I think
that was cheesy, though.
After, like, the Truman Show and Majestic, when he actually started, you know, when he did serious work and the public took him serious, he could have did the Joker.
Well, no, I don't think and Jim Carrey is one of my bucket list people of people I would love to interview, right? Jim Carrey is I don't think he's ever been the same after Man on the Moon. He's never, after playing Andy Kaufman, he's never been the same. If you ever watch, I don't know if you guys, for those out there, and this isn't an ad.
Yeah,
go watch on Netflix the Andy Kaufman documentary with Jim Carrey. That is some scary shit.
So, but do you ever wonder with these method actors, is it just fucking being dicks?
No.
Like they know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
I don't, only because as I was younger,
they're just like, I'll be a legend if I just stay in it.
Younger me.
Let me torture everybody.
Studying film, and I studied film in college. I aspired to be an actor at one point. So they teach you those things of, hey, you have to, in order to kind of to do this, you have to really go and do your research. You have to go look up who you're going to be imitating. You then have to go practice in the mirror for hours. Then you have to go and just go live that. You have to really live it. The really, really great characters and really, really good actors and actresses of the world, they really engulf themselves into their craft. I think same thing with anything, right? Like even with us, we engulf ourselves into the show. The difference is when you get lost in it. Like people like Jim Carrey, Christian Bale. How many times have you seen Christian Bale flip out just randomly because he's either shooting or in set or just having a bad day, not realizing that he's still in character? I saw an interview with Joseph Sequoia from Power, and he said there's times where he's gone home still carrying the Tommy facade, and his wife has, hey, listen, tough guy, relax, chill.
You ain't Tommy.
Yeah, you not Tommy. Relax. Like it is a switch.
That's probably what his wife just does, just to calm him down. In moments where he really should be angry. Okay, Tommy. And he's like,
that's the argument winner right there.
Yeah.
But he may be also getting into character by the way he talks too, because Joseph doesn't talk like he does with his character Tommy.
Listen, after catching up with Power, he's saying the lines, but it's just like, fam,
it's not believable.
No. Yeah, let me keep it 100 with you, Reek. Like, fam, I don't believe you. Then he threw the ashes on Kanan's blunt. It's like, dog, those ashes are gonna fall off.
But that was the other. Yeah, that was once they did that. I was like, fam, that's not sticking. Like, that's not sticking.
For my man Kanan, get the fuck out.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Keep it 100 with you, Reek. You said it, but I don't believe you. I know white boys from Brooklyn. They don't talk like that.
I know some white people that talk like that.
No, like
if you play in the game, like there's somebody that we play the game with. Me and E play the game with him. You can't tell whether he's black, white.
No,
or
I'm
Indian,
not saying.
but
No,
he's white.
I'm saying they're more believable than he is.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree.
Because he ain't them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too.
No, a couple of Polacks.
Word. Fucking. Let's talk a little bit about Meg The Stallion. Meg The Stallion recently just signed to Roc Nation, which is really, really major. Now, we want to make it a point to say that she signed under a management deal and not signed as an artist. That is very, very important.
She already signed with 300.
She is signed with 300. The reason why I think that that's really, really important, for the obvious reasons outside of just the signing of management and knowing who's who and what's what, I think it was a really, really good business move for her.
Yeah, but I hope she understands that the pros and cons that come with it.
Well, tell us. What do you think the pros and cons are?
I mean, one, from those on the outside, people's perspectives of Roc Nation management is not the greatest within the industry and out. Yeah. Not saying that they aren't. I'm not going to go on record and say that because I don't know the full story with that, but I know people have mentioned and talked about Roc Nation's management skills stuff. But also another thing too is it's like horrible timing. Yeah. Like this is really following after JayZ and the NFL stuff, and then you go and sign, and now she was getting a lot of heat from people. Even like Larry Johnson was saying she signed to the devil,
the devil and all this other
and all
shit.
That stuff. Yeah. And listen,
which is crazy.
I mean, I've seen some contracts from labels like you're not gonna sign to the devil. I don't think they make you sign. I don't think it's so funny because in movies and stuff you always see like contracts that are being signed to devil. I don't think that's how it works.
That's not how it works.
Don't they kill animals and stuff like that?
Yeah,
they do a lot of other stuff. The big
paper that they drop down on like when Big Red brings that paper out and says, so just sign these contracts.
That's my man, Big Red.
Yeah,
what color you want?
Yeah, what color you want? Come on, man. Everything is good.
5 heartbeats.
The moment that paper drops down, it's not that thick pamphlet of what's supposed to happen. You're just gonna sign a piece of paper, you sign, and then you're going to learn the rest along the way of how you should have managed your money, what your budget really looks like, and what you should have done with it when you originally got it. And you're going to learn that your street team is not really your street team. And you're going to learn that those tour dates, you've been spending money out of your tour dates because that budget that they gave you was supposed to go towards that. There's a lot that people
I'm
don't
not
know
doing that. Excuse me, Negro. According to Provision 3, line 32, you will be doing that.
Yeah. That's why you got to get lawyers out here. Yeah. You got to get that nice check and spend it on a lawyer.
The reason why I think it's a good business move for Meg is only just because it's Meg. Meg right now, I foresee her transcending into something bigger than herself at a very, very rapid pace, and I don't think that she could do any wrong. I think people are championing her, and because of that, her going to Rock Nation, they'll look at that as an isolated thing. Like, yo, she's trying to get on. She's trying to transcend. And because of that, that's why.
Question. This is a serious question. Since Nicki Minaj says she's retiring.
Nicki Minaj isn't rich. Come,
I never said she is. I said she said she's retiring.
You're better than that, though. You know she's not retiring.
Listen, I'm just saying what the woman said, okay?
She's just repeating it.
I'm just repeating what she said,
Brandon.
okay?
No, I'm not attacking you guys.
Okay, you got
Throwing that on E.
That's not even the point of my question.
I know. Go ahead. That's what I was about to say. Go ahead, because I cut you off.
Point of my question is, if she actually retires, Brandon, do you think that Meg could fill that slot?
100%. That's easy. I think that's happening now.
Not saying that she'll be too. And when I say fill that slot, I'm not saying she's going to have a 10-year
point the camera at me. That's happening now. That is happening now.
Fill that slot, yeah.
That's happening now.
This conversation is very disrespectful to Nicki Minaj.
How?
Nicki Minaj is the JayZ of females that rap.
And that's great.
No one's saying replace.
No one would ever say this about JayZ.
They said it about Big, and JayZ came. There's going to be another JayZ.
For one, JayZ crushed Big. Crushed Biggie Smalls. If you think that there's even
In
a
what
comparison
lane are we talking about?
amount of material,
Are you talking about like commercialism or like do you talk?
progression throughout his career.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
He died, but that doesn't mean that he should still be compared to somebody who went so much further.
That doesn't matter. People do that all the time. Let's just talk about Big and Hove upon their ascension. No one was looking at Hove as being Hove today. Everyone thought that Big was going to be that next guy.
I understand,
but that's
Big,
what I'm saying.
But Big wasn't.
He started
He
entertainment.
It's almost disrespectful to even.
He started entertainment.
Like I'm saying,
he had Cam
Yeah,
signed.
you bugging.
You know what's funny? Only rap will people say this. Oh, but he died. Shit. You would never say this about sports with an athlete. Who's that fucking safety that fucking died? Sean Taylor. You don't go, oh, Sean Taylor would have been better than name
He
another.
would've been.
Rodney
What are you
Pete
talking about?
or whoever the
That's
fuck it
what
was.
fucking stupid.
Oh,
Do
but
you
he
know
died.
that
Nobody ever does that shit.
Sports media does that. What are you talking about? They
With
compare.
who?
They
Name one
compare.
athlete.
Yes.
Who's that?
Oh my.
Shut the fuck up.
Wait, who's Len Bias?
They talk about Sean
Who's Len
Taylor.
Bias?
They talk about Len Bias. Even the kid
Oh, wait,
from
who's
Chicago.
Len Bias?
The kid from Chicago who
Len Bias
died. They
died.
said he could have
What
been one of the
position?
top.
He died the night before he got drafted on a
Shooting
cocaine
guard.
overdose.
Shooting guard?
He was supposed to be better than Jordan.
Shooting guard? Okay, so would you compare him to Jordan? The same way that you're comparing Biggie to JayZ. You would compare that man to
They
Jordan?
were. What do you?
They were
Yo,
the best.
you know what? This just popped into my mind. Do you guys know the story of Lenny Cook? Anybody know the story
Yeah,
of
he's
Lenny
supposed to be
Cook?
better than Braun.
You ever seen that documentary?
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken to people that know Lenny Cook? Because I've spoken to people. This is not a collar pop. This is not one of those. I've spoken to people. Like, he was really supposed to be that next guy. Like, when people were going to the scouting reports and going to the combines, while LeBron was there and Melo was there and all these people, they were going for Lenny Cook. I say all that to say that that's how people viewed Biggie and Hove.
Listen, Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team.
Freshman
Yes.
year.
Look,
freshman
yes.
year.
Look.
Freshman year.
Look, that doesn't negate anything. But here goes what I'm saying.
Why bring it up then?
Here goes what I'm saying. We got to stop this shit with the dead. The dead ended where they ended, okay?
Are you going to
His
feel like that for
And look,
Kanye?
you
When
just
Kanye-
know what I'm Heath Ledger.
Hold on. When Kanye passes, are you going to feel like that with Kanye?
Well, Kanye has had a
No,
robust...
no,
no,
answer.
no,
Yes, that's a yes or no question.
Don't give me that bullshit.
No, that's a yes or no
Let me finish.
question.
Let me finish. Kanye has had a more robust career than Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
He's done way more.
Okay. He lived longer. Get your point.
So Kanye would be a better argument than Biggie Smalls.
But Biggie's music is still being
so
played
hold
to
on.
this day.
Wait.
And even for
Now
example,
look,
even
now
Tupac,
look,
there are even kids that know about California Love.
Now here goes
and
what
they
I'm saying,
died.
and this is why I hate talking about the dead, but I also love it. Okay? Because
I
look,
wish you guys could see his face. when he said it.
No, because look, just because I'm saying you can't compare Biggie Smalls to JayZ doesn't mean that Biggie Smalls isn't a legend. He's just nothing in comparison to Hove, bro.
You just compared Heath Ledger to Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
like
you
you
just
just are
did the same
going
thing. As
against
the Joker.
entirely of what you're saying.
We're talking
No,
about
No.
I specifically said as the Joker.
You say, but you're talking about dead people. Literally, what you're telling us not to do, you just did with Heath
I want you to
Ledger.
go to the comments.
No.
Don't bring
I
up his
didn't.
whole catalog.
Hold on, time out. I didn't because we haven't seen what Joaquin could do. We've already seen what JayZ has done.
But you already said that you would pick. You already said that you would pick Heath over
Go in the
Joaquin.
comments and kill him, please.
Heath is dead. She's right.
Heath is dead, and Joaquin has a longer acting career.
Okay.
And he's been proven to be a great actor from his previous work.
That's true.
So you're going against what you're saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what I'm saying is we haven't seen what Joaquin said or has done, so it's easy for me to say that Heath Ledger was better. Or will be the best.
We've seen Joaquin go into specific.
Not as a Joker.
He's saying
we haven't seen him as a Joker.
He's taking one specific criteria right now and saying, "Oh, as the Joker, we haven't seen him as a Joker, so we don't know." That's like saying.
So let me ask you this. On what level would you compare Biggie Smalls to JayZ?
That's not the you're utilizing one contextual element that you're not adding into the other argument. You're doing apples and oranges right now.
Anything.
I'm saying influence. I just told you what is influence.
Any aspect.
I just said influence. That's my aspect. Influence.
You think that Biggie Smalls has just as much influence as JayZ
100%
has had?
100%.
Then we can't argue.
In hip hop, are you crazy? Are you crazy? You're gonna really sit here and say that Biggie Smalls does not have the same impact as Hove?
You said influence.
Yes.
So maybe I just need you to clarify influence as far as what goes.
Just influence. Just
what?
Worldwide influence.
Aside from rap, what is Biggie influence?
I'm not. Now you're talking about apples and oranges.
No. This is why I need you to clarify.
There's no need for me to clarify. What I'm saying, just in general, that is a blanket statement. Me saying, hey, his influence. You cannot. Are you sitting here saying that Biggie does not have the same influence as Hove? Even though Hove is the same person, even though that Hove is the same person,
rap outside of rap,
in every show pays homage to Big.
He gets paid homage to like that because he's dead. Imagine if Hove died.
What? Hold on. So you think all these people are paying homage to Biggie just because he died? Come on.
Hold on. First off, people get a lot more homage when they die. We can look at Nipsey Hussle.
That's very true.
Nipsey Hussle didn't get no homage until he died.
You're diverting from my point. That's very true. We all know that. What I'm saying is very simple. Are you saying that the credit that Biggie is being given from the entire world is only because he died, not because of his impact to hip hop, to media, to your favorite artists, and all these other favorite artists? That's what you're saying right now.
I'm saying the only reason why people still compare him to Hove today,
because he's at the top of the food chain. He's the upper echelon. He is one of the people. If there's a Mount Rushmore, he's in it. Before Hove.
We can even cut Hove out. We could say Drake has surpassed Biggie.
When was it cool for Danielson to diss Mr. Miyagi?
Like,
when?
Like, I'm lost. I'm lost.
When?
I'm lost.
When?
All I'm saying is we go a little bit too hard for the dead. That's it.
When?
It's not about going.
It gets a little silly sometimes.
No,
you know what
it's not about going hard for. It's not about going hard for the dead. It's just.
And I love Biggie Smalls.
But the thing is like. The impact that Biggie had on the rap scene was tremendous, and it's still even felt to this day, and even the youth know who he is.
It was felt last night in the club.
There are some old school rappers. There's some kids who have no idea about KRS-One, but they know who Biggie is. And on top of that, Biggie was also one of the first rappers to really even put video game references in his own rap lyric. Like, he was doing some things that just wasn't really done at the time.
Listen, people got their styles from Big. That's why I can't understand what he's saying.
He's
one of the people that if there's a blueprint, and that's no disrespect to like KRS-One's, Rakim's, all of
Cool G Rap.
like I'm not. That's before my time, right? I'm just talking about my generation and knowing hip hop. If you just talking about laying verses, how the verse is laid, how it say it,
yeah.
Cool G, like the flow of it, like Cool G.
Remember, we're talking about JayZ.
He stole Roc-A-Fella from Dame.
Okay.
Roc-A-Fella, my fault. You're right. Roc-A-Fella, I was angry. As Cam
Tommy.
Nigga turned into Elmer Fudd. He stole Roc-A-Fella.
As Cam said, Boo styled him, you wildin'. All right? He stole everything from Dame. Kanye from Dame.
Cool. Let me put this in a nutshell for you boys and girls. Boys and girls.
I'm not a girl, I'm a woman.
Boys and women. I like you guys didn't call yourselves men. Very fitting. But how you put it. So look. Let me put this in a nutshell. Biggie never made it to his 444.
Well,
therefore, you can't compare the two. Like, let's just stop. You can't do it. Biggie's a legend. He got cut short though. Not his fault. He's still a legend. You can't compare him to Hove, bro.
He's in the pantheon of
Hove's done everything and more, man.
But you know what it is? I think even with that, that's an unfair statement to make, because just because someone didn't reach their peak, right? Like, you know who that reminds me of? Selena. We just had this conversation about Selena. Selena, regardless of where she ended and everything,
She's made massive impacts.
knew the impact that Selena had. Like,
watch her documentary.
The same
crazy.
thing that I believe that Kanye will have, that Drake will have, that Kendrick will have, that Cole will have, that Rihanna will have. There's a lot of big artists that will go down and leave, either remove a big void from the universe once they're gone, or will leave or will make such a big impact that what they're doing now, to where you're not even gonna want to even compare them. It's disrespectful to even fix your lips to say it. I put Biggie in that regard just because Biggie, for me, and I think for a lot of people, is the blueprint to hip hop. You can't go, like, even in the club last night, all of these new records were being played and it was a chill vibe in the club. Hypnotize came on, and that fucking club, as small as it was, went berserk. Like,
You know what that word means?
that means it.
He got lit. He got lit.
I was talking to Wilson.
No, he was just being a jerk, and I was helping. But long story short, I say that to say that happens internationally. I've seen it. So for you to say he doesn't have the same impact as a Hove, it's disrespectful to hip hop, and I'll leave it there. It's disrespectful to hip hop.
It's not. You guys are being very disrespectful to Hove.
How?
Wait, why we're answering to you saying about the comparison of dead people. We're not sitting here saying we compare all dead people, but we cannot ignore. But the way that you were referencing it was ignoring the fact that Biggie's influence is still felt.
I didn't ignore any of that. That's the whole entire thing. I'm just saying what Hove has done. What I feel we do sometimes is we give the dead so much credit, comparing them to the living in a situation like this. Is just it's just not comparable.
You just did that with Heath Ledger.
Yeah, you just did that.
Literally just did that.
I didn't do that with Heath Ledger because we haven't seen what Joaquin Phoenix.
No, that isn't.
Let
That
me
is
finish.
one.
Can I finish?
No, but that's one contextual thing that you're not adding into this conversation.
Yeah.
You're not pointing one thing that Biggie didn't do that Jay did.
Here goes why. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Contextually, you did not bring that
you
up.
didn't.
I'm listening to you. I may
So
respond in a
he's
very passionate way, but I'm
more
listening to
albums.
you.
Hold on, he's made more albums. He's progressed more as an MC. He's gone from being the street guy to literally telling you to save up and watch your credit, black people. He's become a damn near freedom fighter. He's fucking working with the NFL. He's owned an NBA team. What more does JayZ need to do?
That doesn't correlate with an acting position. Joker. We haven't seen him.
Now tell me what Biggie did besides rap.
We haven't seen him do this. We haven't. Well, also, okay. What has Biggie done? Biggie's helped with Lil' Kim. He's helped usher in a woman artist and helped pave. She even said he helped her with her line. You literally just did what you say you don't want people doing, and you're trying to make an excuse or reason. No, you did that. You're just saying, oh no, but this one is the Joker. Oh, we haven't really seen him as a Joker. No, we're not. That you're doing apples and oranges to prove your point.
No, my
you
point.
did exactly what you argued and said.
Listen.
I could replay this.
He's trying to find a way out of this.
I'm not trying to find.
Because now he's played this back over his head. And he's like, fuck. I did just have this same conversation.
No, I've already won. I'm trying to make you guys realize why I've won.
No, you did not. You literally just did what you claim everyone does.
No, but
you are a hypocrite.
Listen. The reason why it's not the same is because we've already seen what Hove has done.
You're Rick James.
No.
You're Rick James at the Chappelle Show.
If you can't understand that, there's no other way for me to explain it to you.
All right, so let's say, hold on.
Listen.
Let's say we go with that, right? You're right.
Yeah.
You are right?
Yeah.
The problem is you're still doing the exact same thing. It's still a comparison.
I never just did shit.
In any way you say it, it's a comparison.
Whether it's comparing apples or oranges or bananas, you're still comparing fruits.
You're still comparing.
No. In terms of the Joker, it's a guess.
It's still a comparison. You can call it a guess. You can call it a hypothesis. It's a comparison.
Listen. It's a guess, and based on what I've seen so far, I haven't seen what Joaquin's going to do on screen. So for me, So for me to say that about him and Heath Ledger, that's one thing because we haven't seen what Joaquin's going to do.
All right, stop right there.
Hold on. But with Biggie and Hove,
you're gonna make a whole.
Can we move on? Because we're going in circles.
Let me just say this last part. With Biggie and Hove, we've already seen everything that Biggie has done. We've seen what Hove has done and what he is continuing to do.
All right, can you stop right there?
Yes.
you're right.
Okay.
Of course, Hov has done way more than Biggie. Of course, Joaquin, you haven't seen Joaquin and you've seen Heath. So, of course, naturally, you're going to go with Heath because of his performance in The Joker. Regardless of anything that what you're saying right now, that is a comparison. Do you not see that? That's my only point. You are still making a comparison. So, to E's point, you are a hypocrite because you sat here and said, no, I'm tired of people comparing. And regardless of what your criteria is for your comparison, it's a comparison. You just said, well, Heath did these amount of movies
and Jay did this.
That's a comparison. It's apples to oranges. You just did that.
Hold on. Just because it's a comparison doesn't mean it's the same kind of comparison.
No, but
No, for real. Kids.
No, but that's not what you said. You said you get tired of people comparing the dead to the living. That's the core of what you said. Was you get tired of people comparing the dead to those who are alive. Am I right?
You did.
You said that.
Game.
Hold on, time out.
So you literally.
It's not a game set.
You can't say, oh, this comparison is different because I'm comparing red to blue and not, fucking oranges to apples. No, it's still a comparison. You're still doing what you say that you don't like people doing. And listen, I'm not saying what you're saying with Hov and all that stuff is wrong. I'm just pointing out that you're being a hypocrite when you literally just did it with Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix and why you don't think or your own personal thoughts on Heath Ledger. If you're going to come with stuff, make sure that you're not being a hypocrite.
Well, here goes why I'm not being a hypocrite. Yes, it is a comparison. It does involve dead and living people.
Okay.
But in one case, we haven't seen what the living person is going to do.
That's true, but you're changing the
criteria.
criteria.
Hold on. You keep on jumping in the middle.
I'm just saying you're changing your criteria.
I think that's why you guys aren't understanding. We've already seen. Hold on. Listen. We've already seen what the living person. I'm sorry. We haven't seen what the living person is going to do yet.
Okay.
Right. So for me to compare the two, complete guess. Right.
Okay.
But in the other case, when it comes to Biggie and JayZ, we've seen everything that JayZ has done for how many years has Big been dead?
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Continue.
Kind of does. Mm-hmm. It adds context.
Okay.
You did add context, though.
JayZ's so much further than Big. To compare the two, it's silly, is all I'm saying. That's it.
And you're right? You are right.
But that's why it's two different types of comparisons.
We're arguing that it's a comparison. You made a comparison. You sat here and said you're tired of people making comparisons.
Okay, are we arguing about the definition of a comparison or what we're actually comparing?
Right, this is great defense. You really should be a
arguing about what
it's a comparison. Yes,
we are just pointing out the fact.
This is crazy.
No, we're not arguing the kind of comparison. We're just pointing out that you're being a hypocrite. We literally listen to what you just said.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
You're
we
missing
didn't say anything you said with Hov and Big is wrong. We just said, did you hear yourself? You literally are doing what you said you don't like people doing.
You're going to go home.
That's it.
You're going to listen to this. And
I will give you the timestamp.
Yeah, that's all. That's all we're saying.
I mean, I've already said what I got to say about it.
Whatever.
That's fine.
I definitely was not hypocritical.
Wrong.
That's fine.
And I thought I gave you guys enough context
You didn't. You're wrong.
to reroute. But all right.
You're wrong.
All good.
You're completely wrong.
In the comments, I would say for a lot of the fans' viewership, please let us know what you guys think specifically about that comparison, because I do feel like this is one of the things that really is happening right now. And how do you feel about it? Is this one of the things where you feel like maybe you're rolling with Wilson? Maybe you shouldn't, make these comparisons, or is it one of those things where you're going to compare people just because of it's something that people aspire to be or to get to? So I guess let us know what you guys think.
Apparently we're getting kicked out, so we're gonna wrap up real quick.
Yeah, I'm not getting kicked out nowhere. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes. That's it.
You gotta say your name.
Oh yeah, I'm Brandon Killabh, y'all. I'm brain.
Y'all bamboozled.
Yeah.
No, Nas over here about to turn to Tommy.
Damn, I'm really trying to.
Yeah.
I'm really, really trying to stay calm.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm regular Nas.
Yeah.
I'm Wilson.
And we out.